am I missing? I'm just looking at my stream labs here because it looks like I'm totally missing a day here. But oh, I uploaded shorts and what did I do here? So this one carried over. That should be there. Okay, and it's weird. I'm just looking at my stream labs here because it looks like I'm totally missing. Sorry about that. Sorry. So, hello to everybody. Deborah, Janae, Sherry, Margot, Native Libra, good to see you. Barbara Olson. Let's see. So, make sure you're in live chat. And I know that there's a bunch of people in Zoom listening. Okay. Hi, Isabel. How are you? All right. And yeah, the thumbs up would be great. And I'm not in the live version of this, but where's my live version of my video? So, here it is. Okay, so did you watch the trial today? If you did, were you like just could not believe the Kowalski's lawyer? It was crazy. That lawyer, I understand, I think he's been their lawyer since forever. I don't think he's ever tried a case in his life. Not a case against, especially not a case against Johns Hopkins. Hi, Wild Child. Just kind of crazy. He is not prepared. White Angel, are you there? You might want to give him some tips here. He's not prepared. Doesn't even know like his numbers for his exhibits or what he wants to get marked into evidence, and can't get the numbers straight. The judge is even saying like, well, I'm not clear on the numbers. The lawyers for John Hopkins are like, are you getting that, Judge? I'm not getting these numbers. And he's like, no, I'm not too clear on that either. Oh, yes, the boys fishing. Yeah, we had a good time. We went out to, that's a large pond of neighbors of ours. So we went out there. We took a walk. We walked all the way out there. I was on my walk. The kids said, you want to go down there? I said, okay. So we went down there, and they were catching fish like crazy. I have some more videos, but when they were walking down that road, and there's a funny story with that road. That road is where I won a photo contest of when Ethan was 2 years old, holding Jimmy's hand and walking down that road in autumn, and it was beautiful. And I said to Ethan, it will be funny. We should recreate that photo. You know how they recreate photos now, and then if you look at that video too, you'll see this white fence that runs alongside the road. And when Luke was about 6 months, and we were doing the same thing that day, I said, let's take a picture by that fence. So the four of us have a picture by that fence. And if I'm remembering, like I think I was holding Luke, so I said, it's funny if we recreate that. So they wanted to do that actually. They said that would be funny. So we've got to try to do that. I read like wine again. But today, in the beginning, first, like there's so many times they have to send the jury out because they're arguing over like a video. Are we going to admit this? What are we going to do? Well, I have to hear the sound. So like the first thing was this morning they were trying to show a bike parade video. But he said, well, I don't have this sound on. Well, and the judge is like, well, it doesn't matter if you have the sound on. If the jury's going to see it and ask sound, I have to know what it says. So just kind of stuff like that. And so I put my notes here about, let me get my notes. The neighbor boy. Okay. Little notes. Let me make this bigger because I'm never going to be able to read my notes that tiny. Okay, so the first witness was Brandon Woodward, a neighbor. He was born in Maryland. He moved to Venice, Florida in 2007 because he relocated with his company. He was in fiber optics. He's still with the same company. Moved to this area in Venice where they live, which I told many people it's a very community-oriented place, neighborhood, and they just loved it. He said everybody knows each other, and he lives 4 houses away from the Kowalskis. And he said it's a friendly community. They stay in touch through a number of ways. They use an Nextdoor app. They have a group chat. And he remembers when the family moved in. He only took a few days to get to know them. He said that bothered Jack. Is always outside. Kyle was always playing with kids. He played football a lot. That's Maya's younger brother. His kids were younger, this guy that was on the stand. So he said they couldn't really play with them. And they socialized a lot with the Kowalskis. They would have barbecues and they would have pool parties and weekends together. And so he would see them every single day while either he's walking his dog or he's walking with his little kids. And he'd see most evenings Jack was outside finishing a project. Beata would sometimes be on the bench out there with a coffee or with her laptop or with wine and a book. And Maya would be going in and out. Everything was good. Kyle was playing. They hung out a lot as a couple. Let's see. And then they showed that bike parade video where Maya's riding in the golf cart. And let's see, they said could not ask for a better neighbor. Jack would give you the shirt off of his back. And he kicked off this little business. And then he said it's not a business, but helping people paint their houses. He helped out. There were older neighbors. He helped them out with things. He wears his heart on his shoulder. That's what he said instead of heart on their sleeve. And how would he describe Beata? He would describe her as strong, both in person and personality. He has good stories of her joking and needling him. She had a good sense of humor. He said that when he met Maya, she appeared to be a healthy child. And they show that July 3rd, 2015 bike parade. Then there's another. Okay, so this is confusing, okay, because they show this bike parade, and then they say that evening there was a potluck dinner, and it was dark, and he went into Kowalski's house to use the bathroom. And at that time, he heard a terrifying noise, and he thought it was a kid fooling around. But the fear on the parents' faces, he knew it wasn't, and he thought, well, this isn't my house or my kids, and he backed out of the house. And he later learned that it was Maya. Then they showed Maya's homecoming video, that she had to be propped up. She couldn't walk. She had to sit on the couch with pillows for support. He said she appeared emaciated. She had to text her family from the bedroom. She got worse. But he never heard Maya complain about anything. And over the period of time when Maya went to Johns Hopkins until the end, meaning when Beata self-harmed herself, was she still hanging out with Jack? I said somewhat, not so much. Kyle does not play football now, but he sees him washing his boat after he goes fishing. And they clarified that he knew it was Maya that was screaming in the house that day, and that he did not know what caused that noise. The next witness was Robert, Jack Kowalski's brother. He said his mother had 8 children, even a foster child at one point, and he's talked about how Jack was a fire cadet in high school, and then he got into the fire service, and so did he, but he ended up going into law enforcement. Then he went down to Tarpon Springs, Florida. He became a patrol officer, then a detective, then a crimes against persons detective. And he worked that for 5 years. And they said, were you able to spotlight child abuse? Yes, but he had burnout. So he left the force and they moved up to Indiana. Okay, so he had... he was also married to a nurse, and I believe he had couple of stepkids, and then they had a newborn together. So they went up to Indiana, and they said, talk about your first meeting of Beata. He said, I loved her. She was wonderful. She's a wonderful to-the-point person. She doesn't pull any punches. And a lot of people were saying that. What they're trying to say, either she's from Poland or she doesn't pull punches. She tells you how she feels. She doesn't sugarcoat stuff. What they mean is she's direct. And some people may take that as rude, okay? And we've seen that here with people from different countries. And some people are just, it's a different way. But some people take it as rude or, being so direct or, so it's easy to see like they're trying to stress that. She told you how she was feeling, but she also taught him how to make pierogies. And again, his wife was a nurse. Beata was a nurse. He was the best man at their wedding. And then he saw Maya shortly after she was born. And he said that when he saw Beata with the baby, she was holding the light of her life in her hands. Then Kyle came along 2 years later. He would see them over holidays, a half a dozen times a year. They're a great couple. And he said Jack is his best friend. And Beata and him were great together. Jack moved to Florida in 2014 after he retired from the fire service. And then... his brother had a job to bid on because besides the stuff that he did, he had opened up a marine upholstery and airplane upholstery business. And so somehow these people he knew down there, he said, come on, bid on this job. And he bid on the job and he got it. And it was worth his while to go down there. So he had a motorhome and he brought the motorhome down there and he brought it to another brother's house. So he went down there for this job. And the job was, took a long time. So in the meantime, the people he was working for, one of them, whose plane it was named Abraham. And when he found out that Maya was going to go to Mexico to have this ketamine treatment, he said, you let me know what happens when they get there and I'll take care of everything. And he did, and he got Maya this big bear, and then they couldn't get the bear back on the commercial airliner, so this guy flew it back, and they had a little video or pictures, I don't know if it's pictures, I think, where they brought the bear out, to Maya, and she was in a wheelchair. And so then after that, his brother and his wife decided they wanted to move to Venice permanently now. And they saw a house, and it was in Jack's neighborhood. But by the time they moved on it, it went into contract. So they ended up buying a house in a neighborhood across the street from them. And he said, but he was still very close with everybody in there. And so they said Maya was improving after Mexico, yes. Her pain started coming back. He would know she was in pain, he said, because he suffered with pain. He could see it in her face. He knows when she went back to Johns Hopkins, and Jack said they took custody. And his brother said it was the first time he saw Jack fearful, which he never saw, but Beata was angry. And Beata tells you how she feels. She was angry, mad, and scared. Kyle was devastated. He was very close to Maya. They were always doing everything together. They're best friends, so he was in shock and scared. Then They asked him if he was aware of the accusations that Beata had Munchausen's by proxy and child abuse, and he said yes, he did. Then on January 8th, 2017, how did you find out that what happened to Beata? He said Jack called him and said Beata hung herself, and he went over there. He went through the front door. They went through like this. They went through the 911 call. And when the 911 call was playing, you heard Jack yelling for Kyle not to go into the garage, and everyone in the courtroom started crying. Maya's brother, Maya, the uncle on the stand, the father. It was very bad. Let's see. He said Maya looked horrible when she came home from the hospital. Her feet were turned in. She looked at the amount of pain that she was in was the worst he had seen at that point from where she was. Before she went in the hospital, it was far worse. And he closed up his shop and stayed with his brother for a couple of months. He was cooking, cleaning, just being there for him. And says Maya was determined to get out of the wheelchair. She was working hard. She was doing, and this is when we talked about the exercise stuff that they said is the best course of treatment. She started doing this exercise stuff, and he said she would be doing this workout. She would get up early. She would do it with tears coming out of her eyes. She got from the wheelchair to going on crutches, and then she would load up a book bag, not because she was going to school, but for exercise, and she would walk down the street with the crutches and the book bag filled with books to build strength. And then he told her, I love you, Maya. And they said, well, what is Kyle like? He said he's very introverted. How does any kid do, knowing he'll never see his mother again? He's quiet. He stayed in his room. He fishes. That's his outlet, is his fishing. Maya immersed herself in school books, and Jack immersed himself in helping people. And that's what they did. He helped his brother with that business where they would go and paint for people and do odd jobs. He said Jack is the best father he has ever known, always has been. Nobody could do it better. He would do anything for his kids. And so that's why they do this business now over there. He said Jack is different. He's not as social. Then on the cross, they asked about that trip to Mexico where the teddy bear was brought back. And they said, but that wasn't the first trip. That was when she went and had a booster. Do you know that? He said, I can't recall that. And they said, well, when she went back into Johns Hopkins, you said she had been getting better. He said she was in pain, but she was getting better every day. They said, were you aware of the ketamine treatments that she was getting at that point? And she starts to list all the appointments. He says he didn't know. And she asked about the court orders regarding visitation at Johns Hopkins for others, not for him. All of his conversations were with DCF. He can't say all, but some were. And he cannot even say who worked for the hospital or who didn't. And then there was a redirect where they confirmed that Bob, the brother, had his background check during the time that Maya was in the hospital. Then Kyle, the brother, gets on the stand, and they asked his name and his family members, and that he's lived in Venice, Florida since 2014, born in Chicago. He lived there until he was 7, then moved to Florida. They were showing photos. Kyle is a baby with his mother. They said, did your mother tell you the circumstances of your birth? And he said, yeah, he lacked platelets at birth, and she wasn't allowed. And this sounds strange, too, because I wouldn't think you could give platelets after giving birth, and something. He said she wasn't allowed to because, first of all, she was a patient in the hospital and she had just given birth. So she checked herself out, came back, and donated the platelets that he needed. And then they started showing the August 11th, 2016 pool videos. The kids are on this dolphin or whale toy playing around. And he said Maya and Kyle did everything together. He showed them in a John Deere Gator Prego car thing. He said they drove that around till the battery died, and then they counted the minutes until it was charged again to ride it around again. And they asked, well, what was your mother like? Was she the disciplinarian? Was she soft? Did she make you brush your teeth? And he said that, she was both kind of. They showed photos of her childhood home in Poland. Family was very religious, Roman Catholic. They went to Mass and Sunday school. The Catholic church that they go to is Venice Tiffany Cathedral. He recalls moving to Venice. They said, prior to your mom passing, do you have good memories of Venice? Yes. Tell the jury if Maya was healthy and active. And he said, before she got sick, she would hold things in if she was hurt. She never wanted to bother others. And they used to go fishing on the lake out back with their dad and Maya. Then Maya got sick. The first thing he remembers is that cough. He said it's not normal. It's a crying, moaning, and coughing all at the same time. The cough after the 4th of July when it first started. Did she have to go away for treatments? He said yes, but he was 7, so he couldn't remember exactly. And she started doing worse, and then she went to Mexico. He stayed behind. And before Christmas, she came back from Mexico. How did she do after that? He said she regained her strength and happiness. And she could open a water bottle cap where she couldn't do that before. And let's see, they showed her feet in the pool at various intervals and said, look, her feet are straighter. She was doing better. She had more upper body strength, more motion with her hands. What happened before Mexico, she had a lot of pain in her lower extremities. She had a belt, they said, for the wheelchair, so she didn't fall. And then a March 2016 photo was shown. She was looking better. Then a May 21st, 2016, where she's tucking her leg under her where she couldn't do that before. July 2016, she's doing exercise on her walker. Did you ever see her emotional watching the other kids? He said, yeah, she looked sad and she wanted to get out of that wheelchair and play with them. September of 2016, now this is what they think triggered it. There was an issue with school and it caused a setback. And then there was a hurricane coming in. And so he was sad to see her get worse after doing so well. And September of 2016, she went off to Johns Hopkins Children's Hospital, and her dad took her there. And she was gone from that home until January of 2017 after his mother died. So they said, well, October 7th, then when she went to Johns Hopkins, your parents were trying to get her out. Yes, they were trying hard to get her out. What did the stress on your parents? He said the stress on the parents was unimaginable. Their relationship, the stress on the family caused more arguments. Yes, arguing, disagreeing on how to get Maya out. Before Maya left, did you ever see lesions on Maya? He says yes. Did she have them before Mexico? Yes. Did your mom and dad treat them? Yes. Was she super sensitive to touch? He said yes. Sometimes, she couldn't even stand water was too much on her skin. She had good days and bad days before Mexico. She had very bad pain sleeping at night, and she would have to sleep on an opposite side of the house because she had so much pain, and they would use walkie-talkies. And is this hard on you? And then she had limited feet movements before Mexico. Yes. And he said the color on her knees was red. They said, did she have hot and cold sensations? And he said she would ask for a blanket. And in Florida, that's confusing. He was saying because it was hot and she was asking for a blanket. After Mexico, did that get better? He said the lesions, the movement, and she was more comfortable and happier. Were you aware she was going off for treatments, like, through that time? He said not really. He wasn't aware. When she was in Johns Hopkins, when could you go see her? He said he doesn't remember the date. He was extremely excited to go see her, but she was not doing well. She was extremely lonely and sad, and this time he could spend with her was a very short time. Less than half a day? Yes, less than half a day. Was Maya telling you she was not being treated well? He said Maya was telling her she was not being treated well. She was not enjoying her interactions with the staff. Kyle would go as often as he could to see her. So through October, November, December, he was probably going about once a week. Was she home for Halloween? No. Was she home for Thanksgiving? No. Was she home for her birthday, which is in December? No. Was she home for Christmas? No. Maya, after getting out after her mom died, was not immediate. How did that affect you and your dad? He said extremely hard. They said when she came home, he said it was worse than he had ever seen her. The dystonia, that's her feet, curving in. She was so weak. She couldn't even open up the water cap. She needed help with everything. They thought they might lose her. But she was extremely determined to get better. How did she do it? He said all sorts of things to get better, but she got up early to work out. Was it painful? Yes. She would burst out crying. The pain was so much. But she had to work hard to get to crutches, then to walking, and eventually she was walking. Okay, do you remember her having a relapse? He said yes. She went into the hospital again, and she was there more than a week, but there was no problems visiting her anymore, so he didn't have any. Did she have to work to rebuild herself? Yes. How is she doing now? She's doing good, but tomorrow may be different, he said. They said any physical reactions, tics with her legs that you notice? He said yes. And there's days that she still wants to lie in bed all day, and other days she wants to go to the beach. It's completely unpredictable. And the cross where they showed the audio of the cough, they asked him if they hear that cough anymore. He said no. Did you hear that since she got out of Johns Hopkins? No. And it says the time period after July 3rd of 2016, where she had to be lifted to go into the wheelchair. Yes. Were you in school when Maya was in the hospital? Yes. Do you know if it was school or DCF limitations? He did not know. That was about her school. That's about her school. Maya, during the period of time, was doing school from home. Okay, so yes, at some point she was, and you're in school. At the school, they said yes. Let's see. She was able to ice skate after the hospital. Yes, but eventually it was too much to jump and twist. Okay, appreciate you coming in, Kyle. Sorry for your loss. And then Maya's gifted teacher came in. She was chewing some gum when she came in. It was like a little weird. And they asked her about, teaching. Well, eventually she said that she teaches a class that a third of the class was the gifted students. The other students were high achievers. Her impression of Maya when she came in a wheelchair, but she had a bubbly personality. You wouldn't even think she was in a wheelchair. And she was excited that she was in a program like this, and Beata was looking, like she'd say, she'd look, well, where will her wheelchair go? Well, how will she get there? Where will she sit? And was anything explained about the condition? Not really. And she had some commonalities with Beata. She said they became very close. They had a lot in common. The teacher's grandparents immigrated from Poland, and they're from Chicago, like Beata, and so there were things that they had in common. And then there was the homebound program, and it was prior to COVID. It was like Zoom, but it was really hard. So what they ended up doing, because she would have PT, and then she couldn't be in that Zoom thing. So she would visit her at the house, and She usually did it 2 hours reading, 2 hours math. Maya would get around the house with a wheelchair, but she said she would also pick her up and put her on a bar stool in the kitchen, and sometimes she would like to be on a kitchen chair and sometimes the floor, and the teacher was picking her up and putting her there. She couldn't do it herself. October and November 2015, she said she was in progressive pain. She was getting worse. She eventually, when she would go to the house, Maya ended up being in the bedroom only. And there was time they had to take a break because of the pain. It was too much. She saw her legs going in. She saw Maya turning very gray, like she wasn't going to make it. Jack was a stay-at-home dad. He was always positive, super positive. If he was worried, he would only say something when he'd walk her out to her car. Never would talk about it in front of the kids. Beata was not always present. She was working. When she'd come home from work, she came home with groceries. She'd ask Kyle about his homework. She would ask and touch base questions. And then she said something, she's a Polish girl. She's more matter of fact. And she started to talk about a blog about a girl from Jessica's journey that she was sharing with the parents, but they cut her off on that. And they said, did you know she was going to Mexico? She said, yes. And after she got back from Mexico, you started tutoring her again? Okay. She looked tired, but she had more strength. She progressively got her strength back. She said, before Mexico to after, she said she seemed stronger. Her legs were still inverted, but her arms and her upper body strength started coming back. She got better. She could scoot herself around, but she needed help with the legs. She's a brilliant kid. Let's see. If she was not homebound, she would have recommended her to be tested for the gifted stuff because she said she could go to a magnet school, but they weren't concerned about that because she was homebound. When she visited her in the hospital, when Maya was hospitalized, she was allowed to visit and tutor her in the hospital, and she said the staff was very cold and very indifferent, and she remembers a nutritionist getting kind of angry with Maya for ordering the same thing all the time. So this teacher was trying to go through the menu with her, and there were lots of crafts in Maya's room, and she said she was a feisty fighter, but she looked worse. And then they started to bring up some emails, and so you've got one that's like, Dear Mr. and Mrs. Kowalski, and this is from the Sarasota County Schools about the tutoring, and this is what they say set that thing off for Maya, and it says September 9th of 2016. It says, Dear Mr. and Mrs. Kowalski, as you already know, Mrs. Shepler and I are thrilled that the county has changed their stance on allowing Maya to be home health-bound again this year. While waiting for the official paperwork to go through, we would like to continue to tutor Maya as we have since the beginning of the year. Currently, it looks like Monday and Thursdays will be working for us again. So if it's okay with you, I will come on Monday at 4, and Mrs. Shepler will come to be there again next Thursday. Please let us know of any dates that you and Maya will not be able to be tutored, Maya will not be able to be tutored. Mrs. Kowalski mentioned Maya needing treatments again in the near future. Could you please share those dates with us? Super excited that we will be able to teach Maya again this year. Enjoy your weekend. And then they went through that her areas of eligibility is a primary disability. It says hospital homebound. And then they went through that the school said that she had generalized regional pain syndrome, and that was signed by John Wasserman, and that's the doctor that wrote this, due to her medical condition, he wrote this on a prescription pad, Maya is confined to full-time homebound this time. Okay, and he put that multiple needs affect, hold on a second, I just lost my thing. Yeah, oops, something went wrong, no kidding. So they went over that, like that the doctor was the one that was putting this down on Maya's form that the doctors check. So it says, could the student attend school? And no, she couldn't attend school. Okay, is the student confined to her home or hospital? Yes. Yes, they went over these things, and she said that ketamine, and she said it did not appear to affect her cognition. So she said the ketamine did not affect her cognition, according to her, the teacher. On August 22nd, 2016, Dr. Wasner, representing the school district, said Maya was too sick to attend school. Correct. Yes. They show the prescription pad, and then it says, looks like you were one of the first visitors to the hospital when Maya was there. Yes. Were you ever denied? No. She tried to leave a laptop. They wouldn't let her leave a laptop. She could not leave it with her. Do you know if that came from DCFS or was it court ordered? No. She was not aware. To the best of your recollection, you visited 2 times a week. Yes. To the best of your recollection, are these the sheets you signed off on? It looks like you bring sheets for her to sign off. So they show you like her signing in to planning, tutoring math and science, and they showed the dates of that. In the beginning, another teacher went there, she said, but she took over for both. Was your background check waived because you were a teacher? She said, I believe so. They start showing Maya's report cards, straight A's, throughout all the time, straight A's student. She still got straight A's even being released from the hospital. Yes. How is she doing now? She said, I assume she's doing amazing. No further questions. There's a redirect. Did you ever see any cognitive issues due to the ketamine? No, she said. Then the jury came back and they had questions, and their jury was, how did you keep Maya upright when you put her on the bar stool? And she said, because the bar stool had a back. And they said, did you ever see that strap or something in the wheelchair? She said, I don't recall that. She didn't recall that. How did you manage her mobility? And she said in the classroom, she had a little girl named Sophia that would push her around the classroom. At home, she would either move herself or I would carry her. In the hospital, I would push her, so then she would push herself. At her house in the spring of 2016, she had a lot of upper body and arm strength. She did most of it, and then they said she was free to go. So that is basically what happened today. Now let me go back and see what you guys are saying about anything. Hey, Chadescut. Oh gosh. Chadescutum. Good to see you. So, did anybody else, did I miss anything? Anything that you found there that you wanted to talk about? There's not going to be court on Monday, so the next day is Tuesday. I watch it on a channel, it's 13. There's less people in there and there's less riffraff, because sometimes on the bigger station there's a lot of riffraff in there and it's very distracting. People are just in there just to cause trouble. Hi TX Mopar. So, I can't, my chat's not caught up. Hold on. Why is my chat not caught up? That's weird. You're not behind? Anybody else have any impressions from today? Anything going on? Is the chat still working? If you're in the chat, can you type up a 1? I don't think the chat's working. What do y'all think of this case? Do you blame the hospital for filing the abuse charges? Hi, it's Pink. Hi, Teresa. You can say that again. What did I say? What did I say, Teresa? I don't know. Oh, Chataskadam. You're unfamiliar with the case? Well, there's a documentary. You could watch it this weekend, and it's Take Care of Maya. This is a case about a girl, a mother who's a nurse who was accused of having Munchausen's by proxy. And so when their daughter was admitted to the hospital again, she was taken into the state's custody, and after 87 days, the mother couldn't take it anymore, and she took her own life. And now they're suing the hospital for $200 million. They've settled with one of the doctors for $2.5 million already. So that's where that is. But I don't know how many of you are following the trial. I know some of you said you are after last night and after watching the documentary. To the riffraff. I got you. It's on Netflix. It's on Netflix. Take Care of Maya. That's the documentary. But you can watch it. You can watch the trial. It's streamed on. Like I said, I stream it on. I watch it on. It's 13. What is it? The one that I'll tell you what the name of the channel is that I watch it on. Hang on. So it is Fox 13. They're streaming the trial. You can watch it there. Like I said, it's less people. I didn't get my hair done, obviously. I gotta really try to do that tomorrow. The hospital was billing, the insurance company, right, for money to try to figure out they wanted Maya to remain in the hospital. I think the one doctor blamed the mother. Yeah, they were billing. You're right, Barb. Yep. I need where the heck am I? I'm getting a headache. I thought John Hopkins was really outstanding hospital. Well, I don't know. It's a very confusing case. What did you think of? What did anybody think of the 911 call? Did anybody have any impressions of the 911 call? Does anybody have any feelings on that Dr. Kirkpatrick? The one that sent her to Mexico, the one that was out of pocket, the one that didn't take insurance, the one that was so expensive they could not continue treatments with him, the one that was so expensive they couldn't continue treatments with him, but he was using Maya as a guinea pig and videotaping her to show to other people. Anybody have any misgivings about Kirkpatrick? Because I do. I do. Or that treatment over there in Mexico was like terrifying, and she was having these hallucinations, and it wasn't a miracle cure by any means. And we read it ourselves that the kids were cured more with this intense exercise, which is what she ended up doing, and now she's walking. Like Kirkpatrick, I think, is the reason that this happened. That he sent them on this thing for this ketamine in Mexico, and he destroyed their lives. I really do think that right now, the way I see it, that he was instrumental in that. Oh, Annie Millions, yeah. Not really interested in that, Annie Millions. Okay. Yeah, it was very scary. It's terrifying to hear that, what happened in Mexico. It really was. Did anybody find that? With Dr. Kirkpatrick? There was a crazy sustainable treatment. I don't know. I just I don't know. I didn't like that. I don't even know if he ever mentioned any alternate treatments or what was going on. You know, just seemed like he was in. I don't know. I don't think he was, because like even it's like the hospital didn't even recognize him or something. You know what I mean? Because he was saying, oh, why didn't they see this treatment over here? Nobody saw that? Hi, Snow Remover. How are you? Oh, good. Yeah, check it out. But I don't know. I think it's crazy about going to Mexico like that. There's somebody, speaking of Mexico, there was someone that died. This is the problem. Their specialists have a miracle cure, but it's so expensive, no one can continue on with the cure. Yeah, but was it really a miracle cure, Barb? Because she doesn't have it now and she's walking. That's what I'm saying. I don't think it was this miracle cure. And I think it was horribly scary, and she had these hallucinations, and she was in a coma in Mexico. I mean, I don't know. I think, if anything, that doctor was the one that started off with destroying them, really. Truly. It was that doctor. That's just my opinion. You understood more from the documentary? I don't know. Just the way I'm feeling, I don't know. That, like, terrifying, that stuff down in Mexico, and that kid, she was, am I going to wake up? And then she's having these horrible hallucinations about monsters coming. Like, why would you do that? And there was no miracle cure. I don't know. And it destroyed their life. You're starting your third cycle next week. It's tough, but it's working. Oh, prayer, Snow Remover. Prayers for a full recovery, and that it works well for you. Thinking of you. So you think the doctor put a bug in the parent's ear? Yeah, I do. I don't think he told them about the other therapies because, like what we read, the exercise, the intense exercise has helped more kids and all of that. The judge, I think it's that their lawyer, you don't understand, should have their lawyer is terribly unprepared. It's like ridiculous. It is like a clown show. I'm sorry. Their lawyer is like really unprepared. Really unprepared. I think he's smirking at the incompetence. It's hard. Let me look at something else. Hold on. Don't let me start yawning. Check out the kids' fishing shorts. Oh, wow. I wonder if this is... Hang on a minute. I do want to look up something in a minute, but I want to also take a little look at this. So, deputies responded to Arcadia, Utah, early Thursday morning after 58-year-old Brent Gilbert called dispatch to report that he killed his wife, Stacy Gilbert. Upon arriving on the scene, police say they found Stacy deceased. According to a probable cause statement, she has injuries from an unknown type of firearm. However, there was a 12-gauge pump-action shotgun located leaning against the wall outside the bedroom door that contained blood and fibers on the barrel. Brent was taken into custody and taken to the Uinta Basin Medical Center for treatment of a self-inflicted injury to his wrist. He was transported to the Deschutes County Jail and booked on aggravated murder. Utah. Is that another Mormon murder? I don't know. But that's just happening. Then there's another evangelical case. And that's what I mean, so many times I'm trying to do something, but I'm not able to do it, am I? Okay, hang on. Excuse me. All right, hold on. I want to find something else, but Yeah, these two. So those two right there, they're the traveling evangelist wife, arrested on multiple child S crimes. Traveling preacher has been indicted on multiple counts of child S abuse, including R. Benjamin Garlick, 32, and his wife, 29-year-old Chantal Garlick, both face multiple charges in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, where Garlick had been helping run a ministry for Spanish speakers. Great. A notice on the door of the business said Garlick had received an eviction notice on August 29th for not paying rent to Sword of the Lord publishers. In addition to Child R, Benjamin Garlick has been charged with aggravated S battery, S exploitation of a child, and continuous S abuse of a child. His wife faces charges of facilitation and aggravated R of a child, and aggravated child abuse, neglect, and endangerment. Police say the incidents began in February of 2021 and continued through last month. No details of the indictments were released. Videos and images online show Garlick preaching at churches in Florida, Indiana, Minnesota, and Texas. A GoFundMe has the family asking for money to buy a van for their travels. Chantal Garlick was released after posting a $75,000 bond, but her husband remains jailed on a $750,000 bond. Wow. Oh, isn't this cute? Yeah. Look at this. How many kids? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 kids. They look like they are all girls. Except that may be a boy right there. Were they just trying, he was making her have one after the other until she had the boy, or what? Ask and it shall be given you. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and it shall be opened unto you. For everyone that asketh receiveth, and he that seeketh findeth, and to him that knocketh it shall be opened. Matthew 7:7-8. You see what I mean? These are people that, if they are guilty of those horrific things, see how they will deceive with Christianity, with Scripture. They will use it to give themselves credibility when they are doing the most heinous things. This is what I mean. We need your help to raise funds for this Ford Transit van. This is an answer to prayer and a need for more time before the throne of grace. When our third daughter Abigail was born, we realized that our Ford Focus was too small for us to fit our family. We began to pray, and I must confess my faith was not what it should have been. My wife had been taught to pray specifically. Yeah, and this is a guy, what did we just read that he is being charged with, right? She, having faith to move mountains, prayed for a minivan with everything she knew we would need or want in our new car. I asked her where she expected to get the money to pay for such a van, and she replied, from God. I told her good luck, and I didn't think much of it after that. Within a matter of weeks, God paid for it, just like my wife had prayed. The van pictured here is now over 418,000 miles on the odometer, and by his grace still chugging along. My first responsibility is to be a husband and a father. Well, that's not true if he is guilty of all of that stuff, right? This shows you the levels of deception. Our vehicle allows me to fulfill that role while we travel together. Really? Or does your vehicle allow you to do horrendous things? This year our family once again outgrew our vehicle, and while we were excited to receive our baby Sean into our family, we knew that in the Lord's timing he would open the door once again for us to get the vehicle we prayed for, and pray we did. His timing is perfect. This week he opened the door to find the van we have been praying for. Here we are with the new van. It was a miracle that we have found it, and even more so how God has opened the door for making it ours. We have 60 days of special financing with no interest. We are calling on you, our faithful supporters and prayer should be an S, warriors, to help us raise the money to pay for this vehicle before that deadline expires. We need to raise $40,000 by February 7th to meet that goal. Well, they didn't do it. Okay, and then they put it in Spanish. Wow, 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 wow. Wow. Oh my gosh, that makes me sick. That is disgusting. And see what I mean? They will use that stuff to make you think they're doing something so great, so good. See it all the time. Okay, let's see where I want. There's another couple in Florida allegedly confessing to S battery on children between the ages of 10 months and 10 years. Producing, transmitting, and possessing child P involving the children. Florida couple. Couples doing this together. It's sickening. Okay, so I wanted to find something about Dr. Kirkpatrick. Let's just see. Okay, so relief for the worst RSD may lie with ketamine coma. For the most severe cases of reflex sympathetic dystrophy, RSD. Now, see, this is different. This is they said she had regional pain. What did she have? Syndrome, RPS, centralized regional pain syndrome. Okay, this is something else, but this is for him. South of the border, Dr. Kirkpatrick has embarked on a study in Mexico with a protocol similar to those used in the German study. He sends patients to the San Jose Technological Hospital affiliated with Tec de Monterrey School of Medicine in Monterrey, Mexico, a few hours' drive from the Texas border. Patients pay about $20,000 for the treatment, and it's not covered by insurance. Leading the Mexican medical team is Fernando Cantoflores, MD, an anesthesiologist and specialist in pain management who was trained at the University of Texas. The study was originally approved in the United States by the institutional review boards of the University of South Florida and Tampa General Hospital, but the FDA refused to grant an exemption to its international new drug application rather than embark on a process that would likely cost $3 million and delay treatment for the patients. Dr. Kirkpatrick and his colleagues moved the study to Mexico. A review board in Monterrey also approved the study. So far, 8 patients have been treated in Mexico. The main difference from the German study is that the pain thresholds are measured with a force gauge. The German study relied on self-reporting. Oh my gosh. Oh, here's that hope for Jessica. That's what that woman was saying. Jessica's journey. They were saying there was a blog. That's what the teacher was saying on the stand. And this is from 2012. And it was CRPS treatment. And they're talking about this treatment. Let's see where she is today, this woman. Where are you today? Tuesday, February 21st, 2012. Okay. And then what? That's it? You just have one blog post? Okay, someone said, upon his testing and because Jessica's condition is so severe, Dr. Kirkpatrick is recommending the only treatment available that can possibly help relieve her suffering and afford her some semblance of a normal life is the ketamine coma procedure. So you see what he's saying? He's saying it's the only thing. Okay? He said recommending the only treatment that can possibly help relieve her suffering and afford her some semblance of a normal life is the ketamine coma. $20,000 plus 20, and that was back then. During the procedure, Jessica will be put into a coma with the hope that her nerves, brain, and spinal cord will reset so that her nervous system sends the correct signals to her brain. Yes, this is a radical, scary treatment. However, for Jessica, scary is thinking that she could spend the rest of her life in this condition, unable to walk, eat, or take care of herself. Since all reasonable treatments have failed to help her, we feel we must try everything possible to help Jessica regain her life. We understand that due to Jessica's fragile condition, there is a high risk associated with this procedure. We are also aware that other patients with severe RSD like Jessica's have had success. Jessica's goal is one day to become a doctor. Our hope is that this study can give her that chance. As her mom, I know that she will be a great doctor when a patient presents in her office. Doctor, I'm in pain and words cannot express how bad it is. My daughter, Dr. Jessica, will be able to say, I know how you feel. I've been there too. So take a seat and let me tell you a story. We're so thankful, so blessed to have been led to Dr. Kirkpatrick. Okay, God is good with his help. Okay. I don't know. I don't know. I just get a... So where is she now? Ketamine coma study is a clinical trial procedure being conducted in both Germany and Mexico that is considered for patients with the most severe, intractable cases. We have exhausted all other reasonable treatment options. During this procedure, patients are put into a ketamine-induced coma, essentially shutting the body down and giving it time to reset the nerves. Patients are supported by a ventilator and monitored in the ICU. So far, only about 100 patients have taken part in the study. For many, it has been miraculous. However, like any treatment, there are no guarantees. There are also significant risks, especially in Jessica's fragile condition. So, when is this? Let's see. Let me see if there's any update on her. Okay, let's see here. I don't know where she is now. Let me see here. I don't know what happened to her. Okay, wait. Let's see. Here's something from 2015. Okay, so her name is Jessica Stevens. Let's see. Let's see where she is. She now lives in Naples, Florida, along with her parents, Sarah and David, her sisters. Love dog Molly. She now enjoys food by mouth, and amazingly, after 9 years of not being in school, she took an exam to get into college and passed it. Okay, in July of last year, she met, well, this is a long time ago because the president was Barack Obama, so this is, I think, 2013. So now it's 10 years later. Where is she? Jessica Stevens. Let's see. I don't know. I still have to hear more about this. It sounded so scary when I can't find where you guys are. Hang on. Where is the live? I've lost the live. Okay, let's see. Here we go. All right, here we are. Hello, Jeanette. How are you? Yeah, I can't see Billy. Billy's not here, Jeanette. I don't see Billy either. Why do you think Billy is here? Billy, don't be a hero. Can you see me because my comments were removed again? I can see you, Jeanette. And I don't see Billy. I don't think Linda meant Billy. She probably meant Barb. She probably meant Barb. Linda, do you see Billy? Because two people here are saying Billy. I don't see Billy either, Jeanette. I only see one person saying Billy too. Who's the other person saying Billy? I only see Linda saying Billy. Billy, don't be a hero. Who else is saying Billy? Jeanette? Jeanette. Who else is saying Billy? I don't see anybody saying Billy besides Linda. I don't see Billy Boy either. Deborah Vancouver didn't say it. There's no Billy Boy. I think they're playing with you. Yeah, I think they're playing around with you. I don't know why, but I think they are. She's laughing. Billy Boy's not here, Jeanette. Carolyn, do you have anything on... Do I have anything on Russell Brand? Not really. Hi, Adventures with Beth. Yeah, I don't know why, Jeanette. I don't know why. I have no idea. Okay. So, let me see. I don't think so, Mommy. About what, Jeanette? You don't think so, what? I don't know. Let me see. There was something else I wanted to show you about. There was a woman, okay, I don't know, I thought a woman nearly dies after getting plastic surgery in Mexico. Weight loss surgery in Tijuana ended in complications. Woman nearly dies after getting plastic surgery in Mexico. Texas woman dies of infection linked to cosmetic surgery in Mexico. Woman dies after plastic surgery in Mexico. Husband issues warning after wife dies getting meningitis after a procedure in Mexico. Houston woman dies after getting plastic surgery in Mexico. She died from fungal meningitis. Dallas woman dies after plastic surgery in Mexico. Mississippi, mother dies after getting surgery in Tijuana. Is it worth traveling to Mexico for weight loss surgery? Woman dies during surgery in Mexico. American woman dies after complications from weight loss surgery in Mexico. I don't know. I thought I heard one recently, and some are saying June, July. Someone's saying September was almost. I don't know. Did Sharon? No, she's not going to Mexico. First of all, that has been taken so out of context. It was not Sharon that was going for dental surgery. It was something that she mentioned, and they're not doing it. It wasn't Sharon anyway that was going to get this. You can't believe what you hear on these YouTube streets, Barb. You should know that, okay? They have twisted everything. Sharon is not going to Mexico for dental surgery. No one in Sharon's family is going to Mexico for dental surgery. There was a talk about implants being cheaper there, but she never made anything, and they weren't for her either. They were for a family member. They were implants, but they're not doing it. They're not doing it. But all it was talk, and people have taken that and twisted that, and just as they always do, Barb. Let's see. Sassy Darcy. Did you just hear what I said, Sassy? It wasn't Sharon. It was a family member of Sharon's. And it was talk. Nothing was scheduled. And they didn't do it. They went to a doctor in the United States. No one that I know of goes going to Mexico, Jeanette. We're talking about the procedure that was done and the little girl was in Mexico. Hi, Christine Ferrara. Oh, Linda thought he was here, Jeanette. She's sorry. I don't know why Deborah did that, but I think she's... But Linda's sorry. Anyway, let's see. I think I saw Russell Brand on another platform. Not Sharon, didn't go. No, they didn't have a plan, okay? Really, it was just a discussion. It's like me saying, like, oh, gee, you know what? They have this there. Maybe we'll go there. That's all it was. It's been blown out of proportion, Jeanette. It's been blown out of proportion by people that are trying to make a lot of trouble and say a lot of crap. That's what it is. As usual, as par for the course. And their stiff cushions. And their cushions. do I get on this? I don't understand. It's the same here in Europe that people are going to Turkey. It is very hard to do that, but it's dangerous. Not everyone is going. Yes. It's okay, Barb. It's stupidity from a bunch of contentless people. So anyway, what else was I going to say? Let's I wonder where Sharon should be here. Sharon, are you here? So, I want to make an announcement. If you're a seller in the auction, you're a seller in the auction. We're going to have a pre-auction sellers meeting tomorrow at 10 o'clock prior to the auction. And you really need to be there 10 o'clock tomorrow evening, Eastern Standard Time. Hi, White Angel. White Angel, listen, I gotta talk to you. Girl, I can't email you. My emails to you keep getting returned to me for no reason. It just says unable to reach. It doesn't say, like, it's the weirdest thing. I cannot email you any longer. I cannot email you. I don't know. Check your settings. Whatever's going on, because I cannot email you. Okay? Can't do it. I think Margot was going to let you know. We thought it was fixed, but it's not. It's not going through on my end. You got one of my emails. The other one is not going through. It's not going through. Oh, there you are, Sharon. But that was only one email that went through, White Angel. I sent you other ones and they came back. Check your settings, please. I cannot email you. Okay, so I'm going to look at something else. So, I mean, I don't think a lot of you are watching the Maya trial. I don't think you're watching. I'm very surprised that Scooter is not watching it. I don't know, to see if you blocked something, because I never had a problem emailing you before, and now I have a problem. It's annoying. Okay. I am very shocked. Because normally Scooter will watch these trials, so I'm wondering, but I don't think a lot of the majority are not watching it. It's only on the first day of testimony. Yes, I understand that, but you're watching it, Barb. Yeah, no, I know you're watching it, but the majority of people are not. Are you watching it, White Angel? You were summoned. Why was Sharon summoned? Because they were going to town about your. They thought you were getting your teeth done in Mexico. Don't even. Let's not even go there. You're watching it, Teresa. I'm going to send you an email right now. No, I can get your emails, White Angel. That's not my problem. I can't respond to them. So I cannot respond to them. Okay. Anyway, I know you're watching, Linda. I know Margot is. I know. Okay. I know you're not doing. I told them, Sharon. It's the hate channels that are going to town with this. Okay. They say that my poor moderator has to go to Mexico for dental treatment, and that's not the case. And they've got it all wrong, and they're twisting it out of proportion. And okay. And Sassy was saying, no, it's. I'm like, no, that was just an idea, but they're not doing it. Oh my goodness. But they'll never go forward with the truth. And they can keep spreading lies. Because it's Yom Kippur. Barb Olson. So it's Tuesday. My kids have to be up at 4:45. 4:45. Please watch their 2 new shorts. We did 2 new shorts. Okay. Anyway. What am I going to say? So that's about the size of it for the trial. I don't know. I'm very conflicted on this whole thing. There's so many. There's things that just don't sit well with me, and then I need, like, I don't know. There's a lot of things with this case that I think, I don't know. And truthfully, with the counsel they have going up against Hopkins, I am surprised the hospital just didn't settle with them, really, like they settled on the other stuff. I am so surprised. Okay. What is this? Oh my goodness, look at this. This is crazy. A Virginia mother who sedated her daughters with melatonin gummies before fatally shooting them 5 years ago was sentenced to 78 years in prison on Friday. Veronica Youngblood, 38 years old, was handed down the hefty sentence after the former sex worker was convicted of 2 counts of first-degree murder and 2 counts of felony firearm use in March. Let me put her picture over here. Youngblood told detectives that she planned to kill them and herself following a protracted custody dispute. As her teenage daughter lay dying, she called her ex-husband, Ron Youngblood, to tell him that she hated him and she'd shot their children. He had originally planned to move to Missouri with the girls, but agreed to just take Brooklyn at his ex's behest. Youngblood bought the handgun she used to take her daughter's lives 9 days before the disturbing murders. The mother of 2 grew up in Argentina, called herself a good mother at her sentencing, saying something happened in her brain. Youngblood shot her 15-year-old daughter, Sharon Castro, once in the back and once in the chest. I believe we covered this before. Fairfax County Circuit Court. I don't know how to explain it. Something exploded in my mind, she said via a translator during a 30-minute speech about her girls and the hardships she faced while raising them. Youngblood presented an insanity defense at trial, claiming she heard voices, but it was rejected. The jury recommended 78 years in prison after hearing testimony during sentencing that the killer mother grew up in poverty and was physically and abused as a child and turned to a sex worker as a teen to support her older daughter. Defense lawyers asked that the 2 sentences run concurrently, which would have reduced the sentence of 78 years to 42 years, but the Fairfax County Circuit Court Judge Randy Bellows nixed that. Mothers and fathers have many responsibilities, but none is more grave than keeping their children safe. Tragically, their mother became their instrument of death, he said. Well, okay. Okay. And we have this guy. A Missouri grandfather allegedly admitted to shooting and killing his 16-year-old grandson last week. Thomas Ribby, 70 years old, allegedly shot his 16-year-old grandson, Royce Hayes Osborne, on Sunday in a Clinton, Missouri home. Police wrote in a probable cause statement that the grandfather told investigators he didn't know the gun was loaded, but the family said that doesn't explain why the gun was aimed at his grandson. There was a prior conflict between the grandfather and the teenager, but family and witnesses didn't think it would end with the grandfather killing the grandson. Charging documents state that Thomas Ribby gave the Glock to Osborne to play with earlier in the evening. A witness reportedly observed the victim playing with the firearm and pretended he was clearing rooms. After Thomas Ribby allegedly shot the teenager, Osborne went to his mother, Melissa Ribby. He entered her bedroom clutching his chest and stated, "Papa shot me." Melissa Ribby said, "My baby died in my arms." Thomas Ribby locked himself in his apartment once police arrived. I don't even want to see him. He's not my dad. He's not my dad at all. I don't ever want to talk to him again, and I don't care if he burns in hell. I don't care, Melissa Ribby said. He should have never done that to my child. My child deserved more than that. If he wanted to kill somebody, turn around and do it to yourself. I'm sorry. That's the way I feel. Osborne's family said it was the teenager's dream to one day become a police officer. The grandfather is being held at the Henry County Detention Center under a $100,000 cash-only bond. He's being charged with first-degree murder, endangering the welfare of a child, and resisting arrest. Wow. Crazy. Absolutely nuts. What else we have? Okay. Okay, a Virginia woman was found guilty Friday of killing her mother and sister and staging their deaths as a murder-suicide. Okay. And that was part of a scheme to steal more than $400,000 to pay for a new home. It was the second time that the Fairfax County jury convicted Megan Hargan on the 2 counts of murder after guilty verdicts in 2022 were thrown out because of juror misconduct. Hargan, 40, was convicted of first-degree murder in the deaths of her mother, Pamela Hanson Hargan, 63, and her sister, Helen Hargan, 24, on July 14, 2017. Jurors also found her guilty of 2 counts of felony firearm use. Not long after the crime, Fairfax County Police declared that Helen Hargan had killed Pamela Hargan with a rifle before turning the gun on herself. But during a sprawling 16-month investigation that followed, detectives pieced together clues that pointed to a stunning twist. Megan Hargan had actually killed both women. Wow. Fairfax County prosecutors built a case that relied on a range of circumstantial evidence. They contended that Megan Hargan impersonated her mother to try to steal nearly $420,000 to cover the closing costs on a home purchase. But defense attorneys argued that it was Helen Hargan who pulled the trigger of the roughly 23-inch firearm in their McLean, Virginia home that day, first on her mother and then on herself. The month's trial was not the first time that the jury had to reconcile opposing theories and decide whether Helen Hargan could have died by suicide using a rifle that long. In March of 2022, Megan Hargan was found guilty, and she was sentenced to life in prison in the murders. But 8 months after the verdicts, a judge vacated her conviction after defense attorneys revealed that a juror in the 2022 trial went home and used her rifle to see if the defense's theory was plausible. She then told other jurors about her experiment before they reached a verdict. This is a tale of 2 sisters, Helen Hargan and Megan, the public defender Andrew Elders said in his opening statement earlier this month. One of them killed their mother. It's up to you to decide which one of these 2 theories you're going to believe. As Fairfax County prosecutors told it, Megan Hargan killed her family members the same day that she and her husband were supposed to purchase a house in Morgantown, West Virginia. Assistant Commonwealth's Attorney Kelsey Gill argued that Hargan unsuccessfully tried to wire more than $400,000 out of her mother's account, her Capital One bank account, the day before the murders. The evidence will show that Pam was incensed that someone would try to steal over $400,000, Gill said in an opening statement. The evidence will show that Megan desperately needed this money. Those two things, as well as a lifetime of jealousy and insecurity, came to a head that morning at the Hargan home. Over the course of 6 days, prosecutors presented an array of circumstantial evidence, including bank statements showing that Pam Hargan had $600,905.35 in her savings account a month before she died, whereas Megan Hargan had just $443 that July. Prosecutors also showed the jury a bank statement with Pamela Hargan's savings account information and number on it, but listing the name and address of Megan Hargan. A real estate agent testified that Megan Hargan and her then husband gave the agent the sheet of paper as proof of available funds. After Megan Hargan, in the guise of Pam Hargan, called Capital One on July 13th to transfer $430,000 from her mother's savings to an employee, attempted to verify the request. "No, I did not do that," Pam Hargan, whose estate totaled about $8 million, said to an employee in a recorded call on her cell phone. "Those accounts are not to be touched, period." Jurors watched a video interview with homicide detectives and Megan Hargan days after her sister and mother were found dead. In the interview, Hargan told Brian Byerson, the lead detective, that Helen Hargan struggled with mental health problems and that the mother thought that Helen had been addicted to drugs. After 12 hours of deliberation Thursday and Friday, the jurors filed into the courtroom, while another sister, Ashley Hargan, sat on a bench with a victim's advocate by her side. She breathed heavily, tapping her foot while awaiting the jury's verdict on whether one of her sisters would be convicted of killing the other. Megan Hargan stood with her lawyers, one of whom patted her back, and shortly after the court clerk read guilty, one juror began to wipe away tears. Ashley Hargan nodded slowly, then quickly, and mouthed, "Thank you." That's crazy and convoluted, to say the least. Okay. Where are you guys? The greed for money is always the forefront of their minds. Yep. Okay, let me see something else here. Okay, so we have another tropical storm coming, huh? Let's see what's going on with this. Life-threatening floods, tropical storm Ophelia barrels towards let's see here. Okay, so this is Virginia Beach on the jetty. On September 22nd. Oh, it's coming. I'm just waiting for the picture to load up. Come on. Come on now. Get over there. Come on now. Okay, so it says that waves break along the jetty at Rudy Inlet in Virginia Beach on September 22nd, 2023, as Tropical Storm Ophelia approaches the area. Several states are hunkering down as Tropical Storm Ophelia barrels towards the East Coast, where it's expected to make landfall on Saturday with a life-threatening storm surge, heavy rains, and fierce winds. Upgraded to tropical storm status on Friday, Ophelia is expected to make landfall in North Carolina before turning north, battering the coast with 50 to 70 mile per hour winds. More than 7 million people are under some kind of tropical weather alert, from the Tar Heel State to the Delmarva Peninsula. So far, the governor of North Carolina, Virginia, and Maryland have declared states of emergency. Impacts from Ophelia could be felt in the Outer Banks on Friday, as the storm was 90 miles south of Cape Hatteras and heading northwest at around 12 miles per hour. The highest storm surge levels are anticipated in North Carolina. The water in eastern North Carolina may rise as high as 6 feet above the normally dry ground. Major flooding is expected all along the Virginia and Maryland shores of the Chesapeake Bay, with the overnight high tide tonight, which is between 3 and 5 a.m. It's coming right up. The water levels could be life-threatening and will be the worst hazard from this storm. We expect numerous roads and structures to flood. The storm is expected to move out of the tri-state area by Monday. Rain could also devastate communities inland, with 3 to 5 inches expected along I-95 corridor from North Carolina up through Connecticut and Rhode Island, with some isolated totals as high as 7 inches possible. This will lead to flash flooding in some places, especially right along the coast. In the tri-state area, rain will continue into Sunday, with up to 5 inches possible falling along the Jersey Shore, where wind gusts could approach 60 miles per hour. In places like Washington, D.C., coastal flood advisories are in effect until Saturday morning. Ophelia will weaken on Sunday, and rain across the tri-state area and southern New England will come to an end on Monday. Oh my goodness, hold on a minute. What is this about? Someone had their limbs amputated after they ate bad tilapia. What? Come on. Heartbreaking. Let me see. Over $110,000 has been raised for a California mom who had to have all of her limbs amputated after eating bad tilapia. Oh my gosh. What? Oh my gosh. After eating bad tilapia, Laura Barajas, 40 years old, lost her arms and legs after eating the fish that was contaminated with flesh-eating bacteria that she bought from a local market in July. The glamorous mom of 3 could be seen with a maze of tubes and monitors attached to her body, in addition to a large breathing mask strapped to her face, in a photo taken from her hospital bed. Barajas lives with her 6-year-old son, partner Jose Valdez, and his other 2 children in San Jose, California. She's originally from Mexico, according to her Facebook page. After cooking and eating the tilapia, Barajas became sick almost immediately and was rushed to the hospital, where she was diagnosed with the aggressive bacteria which can be found in undercooked seafood. On Thursday, she underwent life-saving surgery after a months-long stay in the hospital. All 4 of her limbs had to be removed in order to save her life, said a GoFundMe page set up by her friend, Anna Messina. Find it in your hearts to support this beautiful family during this incredibly challenging time. What happened to them could happen to any of us. The online fundraiser set up by Messina quickly gained traction in just a matter of days, surpassing $110,000 on Wednesday. Messina said Valdez has been right by Barajas' side throughout the incredibly challenging time, providing unwavering support, but the family is in desperate need of our help as they adapt to their new circumstances. Valdez works as a local realtor and has exhausted all of his paid time off, and the Family Disability Program provides only 60% of his normal income. Wow. According to the CDC, Vibrio vulnificus infection can require amputations and frequently leads to death within a day or 2 of becoming ill. The ways you can get infected with the bacteria are: 1, you eat something that's contaminated with it. The other way is by having a cut or tattoo exposed to water in which this bug lives. Oh gosh, that makes me nuts. Remember, my toe was like cracked open, like that skin, and I was in the water, in the ocean. Oh my gosh, that's scary like crazy. She said it's particularly concerning an infection for those with weak immune systems. Roughly 150 to 200 cases are reported each year to the CDC. A majority of those infected by the illness require intensive care or limb amputations, and about 1 in 5 die as a result. Oh my gosh. Okay, wow. Reeling from that. It's like crazy. Oh my gosh. That is crazy. Russell Brand complains about extraordinary and distressing week following those accusations. Let's see what he's saying. Okay, you asked me about this, didn't you, Teresa, I believe? It says that Russell Brand complained about enduring an extraordinary and distressing week after being accused of RSA and emotional abuse. In a video posted to his multiple social media channels Friday, he thanked his supporters for questioning the information that they had been presented with recently. However, it's unclear what information he was referring to when he posted his video. He then went on to rant about censorship, as he had just been suspended from making money on YouTube due to the allegations. By now, you're probably aware that the British government have asked big tech platforms to censor our online content. Some online platforms have complied. He started before explaining that the online safety bill has been censoring content on the web. Wow, he's all gray in the beard and stuff, huh? Russell thanked his supporters. Let's see. I don't imagine that you've heard of the Trusted News Initiative, and now, as often is the case when a word like trusted is used as part of an acronym to describe an unelected body, trust is the last thing. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Brand's words came after 4 women spoke out last week, claiming that the 48-year-old essayed them at the height of their career. The incidents, which allegedly took place between 2006 and 2013, were included in a bombshell expose in the Sunday Times, as well as a TV special from Channel 4's Dispatchers. One of the accusers claimed he arred her without protection in his home in Los Angeles. Oh, sorry, I'm pulling a thread on my thing, and that's not good because, sorry. Let's see. Meanwhile, a second woman claimed she was just 16 and he was 31. 2 other women also shared incidents in which Brand, who was married to Katy Perry from 2010 until 2012, said he essayed them. And he said, even before the report came out, amidst this litany of astonishing, rather baroque attacks and are some very serious allegations that I absolutely refute, and claim that all of the relationships were consensual. Okay. Okay, well, I don't know why we're doing that. No need to do this. Okay, my head is pounding, so I think I'm going to check in with the chat here. Let me see. I feel like I have something in my eye. Hang on for a minute because I have something in my eye. What the heck is wrong with my eye? Look, I have an eyelash or something in my eye. It's all weird. Oh, great. I can't see. Hold on a minute. Is my contacts going to come out? Oh my gosh, hold on. Well, hold on. I'm probably gonna I have to go change my contact lens. I can't believe this. to wash my hands. I'll be right there. What the heck got into my eye? This is crazy. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Okay, I had to take my contact lens out and I put it back in. Oh, crazy. My eye is gonna look all bloodshot or whatever. Okay. See if I can even get back to the chat. Okay. Sorry about that. Oh my gosh. What is wrong with our chat? Why is it so? My chat is a half an hour behind. What the heck is going on? And now it just closed down. Unbelievable. What is going on? I don't know what the heck is going on. All right, let me go into, this is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy. Oh, my eye. Where's little lady? Little lady, where are you? And Ron's Blackburn. Where are you? Okay. Oh shoot, let me look at something. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. All right, let's see. He sent a company car to pick up the 6. Ugh. Gross. Teresa, gross. Okay. I'm going to just, I don't know, do the word game. Where's Jeanette? Jeanette, are you all right? Okay. All right. Oh, the bake-off, the weekend bake-off. I always say I'll do it later when I'm not on and I don't nervous, and I always forget. I've completed. I didn't even play. It's crazy. Weekly mission, daily puzzle. Okay. Yes, White Angel, I have made it a priority. I have a lot of stuff going on in my life, White Angel, and my husband's got to get in. My deceased son built this computer, White Angel. Okay, so I have to look at what it can take. And so my husband's got to go into that and see what we can put into this. It's something that he has to do. We have a lot going on. Jimmy's been sick. He hasn't felt good. And so we have a lot going on, and we're trying to do the best we can. I'm, to have to do a lot of the stuff here myself, and just do the best that I can. I've got a lot going on. I have a lot of priorities. A lot of priorities. Today, one of those priorities was to spend hours with my sons. Okay, I went for a long walk. We went fishing until it got dark outside, and that was the priority for the evening. Prior to that, I had therapy. I had work that I had to do. I had deadlines to get something else through to something. Yeah, I have a lot going on. I had to watch the trial and take notes. Thanks, White Angel. Gas. Yeah. I got sausage, guys. Yeah. I got sausage. Let's see. Saute. Saute. No, there's no T. Oh, sauce. Yeah, sausage and sauce. No, didn't happen. Sorry. No, because you need a C. Thank you. Okay, thanks. Why did I think we couldn't do usages? I don't know. I thought that I just tried that. That's so weird. Rats. What do you mean? It didn't work though. Step. Okay, sure. Excerpt. Oh, there's no R. Can't do that. Accepts. Accepts. There we go. All right. Oh, I lost everybody again. I lost everybody again. I don't know where you all went. I see that, Sharon. So remember that anybody selling in the auction, you really expected at a seller meeting at 10 o'clock. Why are you sad? Why are you sad, Sharon? Please tell me why you're sad. Good night, White Angel. Have a good night, please. You're back like a bad penny. I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you're back. I didn't put the ads. I did both. I think I'm just gonna log off for the night. I'm kind of worn out. It's been a rough week. I'm worn out. So I'm gonna call it a night there. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. God bless, prayers for all. And don't be a jerk. Prayers for all. God bless. Love you guys. Good night.